I'm Cuda, and he is Rice, and this is our debut.
Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for watching our video.
So we're gonna jump right into it. It's been a pretty rough week in the markets. If any of you guys have been following, particularly crypto. So, what's going on with crypto?
Crypto's in the fucking garbage can right now. It's bad.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, it is.
I think like crypto's always been like a long-term hold for me, and like I'm really big into NFTs, so I don't look into a lot for price point. But I think the last time I looked at Ethereum, we were like just over 3K, and when I looked at it today, it was like 2,100. I was like, whoa, that's a big jump down.
Yeah, it's under 1,800 now.
Oh, is it really? Oh, I didn't even
Yeah,
know that. So like when I
yeah.
looked at it around noon Pacific time, it was 2,100. Um, Solana at the time, it's probably lower now, about $50 a token, which I thought was a steal because when I was trading it, it was between $90 to 120.
Mm-hmm.
Matic, I think, was shoot $1.20, $1.50, and Cardano was over a dollar. And now we're looking at these tokens, and they're super low.
Yeah, same. And I was telling some friends like not too long ago, like around the time when I got here, late January, early February, that the crypto market was still in its infant stages and it was a great time to invest. And I kind of hope that they waited and did not jump in when I told them to. But I mean, not a lot of people could have foreseen that. Bitcoin was trading at like 45,000. Ethereum was at 34, and Matic was like $1.50, $1.60.
Yeah.
And now you haven't looked, but Bitcoin is at 26,000 now.
Oh, well, once it goes back to 18K, like we're just gonna buy that stuff up.
Yeah, Ethereum's under 18, and Matic's at 52 cents.
Yeah,
which
be
is
be
crazy.
greedy when people are fearful.
Right now they're fearful, and like I've been saying in our Discord, don't rush to buy this dip. Like I've been burned by buying dips in the stock market before, so I've been through my share to know don't rush to buy right now. I'd wait because there's a lot going on in the space. So I'm gonna wait till like 18,000 Bitcoin, and I said 17 Ethereum, but I don't think I'm gonna buy at 17 now. I gotta look at the next price level.
It's
So
probably gonna be 1,200.
I hope
I
so.
think it's gonna be 1,200. It's gonna be good because like I'm big on NFTs right now, even with the dip, with the crypto crash.
Yeah.
There's a lot of opportunity to be able to start buying the tokens and the coins to go purchase the NFTs, and that was like the big put off for NFTs is like, oh, you have to have half an Ethereum, one Ethereum, 2, 3, 4. You have to have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10
Yeah.
Solana, but
Yeah.
they're still trading at the same amount of tokens. It's just now it's 50% off. Like if you're going to a store and you see like a 25-50% discount, I can guarantee you that you're going to go jump on that price.
Absolutely.
It's the same thing with stocks and with crypto. Like you just have to jump on it. It's not the same way that you see a discount. Like your discount could be, it's not like a 1 day flash sale. Like this could be a flash sale for a week, a couple days. You know,
Yeah.
once we find out like what the bottom is, we won't know until it's too late. But just
Yeah.
just keep throwing some money at it. $20-$30 a day if you can afford it. Wait till next week. It's probably going to be around the same price, even if it bounces back.
Which is crazy because we had a conversation I think a couple months ago when there was kind of a mini dip, and it's like, oh no, like Ethereum's about to go under 3,000. You're like, yeah, I hope it goes. I hope it goes to 1,000. Here we are. Like
Here's
it's
our
just insane.
opportunity. Here's the
Hmm.
opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, I was bummed out when I missed the Bitcoin dip a couple years ago when it was like 5,000, and here we are with this prime opportunity to get in it again.
Yep.
So like I'm stoked about it. I'm gonna save up some money, set money aside, and I'm gonna wait. I don't think I'm gonna buy any right now because there's too much fear in the markets right now with everything going on.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna personally wait a little bit and evaluate where I think a bottom is because I think there will be consolidation near the bottom, and I think that's when you're gonna want to buy.
So I don't know if you know this. I found this out today. Uh, some of the biggest holders of crypto right now for
Yeah,
like the big coins like Bitcoin and Ethereum, BlackRock.
BlackRock. Wow, I didn't know that.
They are some of the biggest holders currently with crypto.
Okay, that's
So
crazy.
if you go open up their portfolio, that's one of their largest holdings are those two tokens, and they are
Wow.
shorting it like crazy.
Okay, that makes sense. I didn't know that they were.
That's why we have the dip, is because they're using it's their hedge
Mm-hmm.
against the stock market, and
Mm-hmm.
that was the point of cryptocurrency, was to make sure that this stuff doesn't dip. But now because we actually have major financial institutions in here, they're using the same tactics.
That's crazy. And for people that are not familiar with BlackRock, they're one of the largest U.S. institutions. They pretty much buy all your property. They buy a lot of stock. They're invested pretty heavily in the stock market, and now they've made their way into the crypto market. So it's crazy that a company like that can control all three of these markets.
Yeah. So if you haven't invested yet into crypto, and if you're concerned about it, it's if you have a major U.S. institution backing this type of currency, like it's to offset your worries, it's probably a good time to think about like, oh, this is actually not as scary as it could be.
Hmm. Yeah, no, absolutely. So it took me a long time to get over that fear. I didn't invest in my first crypto until last year when I bought during the summer, during that crash in the summer, and I didn't buy Bitcoin. I bought Ethereum at seven or about. I initially bought at 17, and I bought it on its run up at 19 and like 2100, and bought Matic. And right now, I'm looking to buy more. Like that's what I wait for. I don't like to buy it near the top. I'm really stubborn about that. And now that I have this opportunity, I think it's gonna be great for everybody that's not in it yet to find a starting point. What
Oh,
do you think?
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. If, if you missed out before, like when it first became a thing, and if you got scared about it, and when last year, if you thought that you missed out, like this is like a good opportunity. Like even like with crypto with stocks, um, we're gonna see it like a huge dip, and you should be looking at just taking a stab at it. Whatever money that you are willing to invest into it, give it a shot, see what happens. Like I was very skeptical with crypto last year when I started like actively investing with stocks and stuff. And I was like, no, like I'm not doing the crypto thing. I'm good. And Jerry
Yeah.
kept telling me, he's like, no, like you have to get in, trust me. I was like, no, 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 no. I waited like 4 or 5 months until I actually opened up a Coinbase account, and their stock is down a shit ton. But you know, I
Yeah.
wish when he told me to go, like, hey, like this is an opportunity, grab it. I wish I did it then versus when I actually did do it, and now like here we are again, back at
Yeah.
stage one. Hey, this is an opportunity. Take a stab at it. It's gonna be it's gonna be good.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. And nobody's gonna ride a 9 to 5 to riches or really good wealth. You have to invest, whether it's investing in the stock market, crypto market, or just in yourself into your side hustle or business. You have to find an investment point, and the easiest investment is crypto or stocks. But right now, crypto is extremely undervalued right now and has long-term potential with all these institutions getting involved. I don't know if anybody's heard of Michael Saylor, but he's a
Who's that?
huge Bitcoin. Michael Saylor,
Yeah.
he is the head of, I can't remember the name of the company. I just kind of found out about him a while ago. I follow him on Twitter now. He, with his company, they pretty much invest in Bitcoin.
Okay.
So he's a big believer that the future is Bitcoin. And then institutions are following suit right now. Like as you said, BlackRock's in the crypto business, though they are on the other side of it. But eventually they'll flip to the bear side once the stock reaches its bottom, its eventual bottom, in my opinion.
I was scrolling through some of like my crypto Instagram stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and is it Michael O'Leary? They got on Shark Tank.
Oh yeah, Michael. There's my Kevin O'Leary.
Kevin O'Leary.
Kevin O'Leary, yeah.
So they did like a little video like with him talking about like what's in his crypto portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
And so like his three biggest holdings are Ethereum, Solana, and like three other like random coins.
Okay.
They're all based off of the Solana blockchain.
Okay.
So it was interesting to say like, okay, so here we have this other guy that's a very good investor that's believing in crypto,
Yeah,
and he is buying the dip.
that's good. And then you have what kind of is it? Ecuador? Ecuador, the ones that bought the Bitcoin at 55K.
It was no, was it
Um,
Ecuador or what's the other company, the other country that's their currency? El Salvador.
El Salvador. Where did I
El
get Ecuador
Salvador.
from? El Salvador is the one
Yeah,
that bought they bought Bitcoin at the high, buy high, sell low was their mentality. They bought it 55K and it peaked. It eventually did peak in the 60s, but they are way underwater in their investment. And
but
President of El,
they bought more
yeah,
this week.
exactly. The president of El Salvador is
They doubled
saying buy
down.
the dip.
Yeah, they doubled down on it.
Buy the dip. So if you have a country that's just fully relying on Bitcoin, I mean, they need Bitcoin to move. It's not going to move anytime soon, but right now, if they have the time to wait, that was the time. It's not going to get you rich in the next month or two, but it has long term potential. And then, like how you were saying about some of these big names that are involved in the crypto space, Kathy Wood had. I think Kathy Wood is kind of detrimental to Bitcoin with their $100,000 price target because I think she created that expectation, and I think that's part of the reason with the sell off right now. Not what started the sell off, but what is more accelerating the sell off. Because people that like you and me, retail people who bought this last year and maybe spent more, maybe bought it more towards the top 40, 50K, some in the 60s. And now they're seeing just this massive sell off, are panicking right now and kind of contributing to this downfall. But that's my opinion. What do you think about that?
So the problem is like it's everybody. It's the same thing with like Chinese stocks, right? They have these like outrageous price targets, but they don't say like when is this going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, oh, this is our price target. It's like, yeah, I could say that about anything. It's like, oh yeah, like I could value my car at like $50,000. Honda. It's like
Yeah.
I'm just throwing out numbers at this point, but it's really not realistic if you're talking to a average person like how we are
Yeah.
and be like, oh yeah, like you can go rags to riches overnight with whatever investment you do. It's like, no, it's like that's not really how it happens.
Yeah.
It's a long term thing. It's going to take some time. You have to be patient. And when somebody throws up this like crazy number, then everybody panics when it's nowhere near that number.
Mm-hmm.
And especially like with crypto, because crypto is there's a handful of like big money in there, like aside from the people that are quote unquote whales who invested in
Mm-hmm.
it early, like they're fine,
Mm-hmm.
but all these other institutions and big name people getting into crypto, they're going to try and influence the market, scare people off, so they can go buy it for cheaper and use that as a long term investment. And everybody
Mm-hmm.
has to realize like, hey, this is a long term investment. I put in $5 a day, $10 a day, $20 a week, whatever it is. If you look at it long term, you're fine. But if you're going to look at it as like, oh, I'm going to be rich tomorrow, then that's the wrong mindset to have, and you're going to lose out.
Mm-hmm. No, I completely agree with that. For sure. It's like you got to treat crypto right now because it's young as a 401k essentially. But a
Yeah,
401k, they don't get penalized for withdrawing. It's just something you buy it and you forget it. Yeah, you can track it on the way, but the key is not to panic about it. Like not everybody's checking their 401k every day. Like I personally check it like once a month when I get the statement in the mail.
yeah,
Uh, but that's how crypto should be treated too, because there's gonna be those times where it's just gonna dip hard, but then there's gonna be times when it picks up.
yeah,
Like dips aren't forever, and it's still young. And when more institutions get involved, this has insane movement potential in the future. And I wouldn't say it's gonna hit 100K this year. I think it'll get back to 50K maybe by year end after it settles whatever its bottom may be. But if 100K will happen in our lifetime. I just don't want to be the one that says it's going to happen by this date, or and then people get let down. Like, okay, well, why am I in this? So, and that's what happened with like a lot of the meme stocks, GameStop and AMC.
yeah.
Like, I don't know if you saw all the AMC to 5K or 500K or whatever it was.
Or it's like whatever price you want to like dictate it.
Yeah, and then you had your YouTubers out there that are like, "Oh yeah, like the squeeze gonna happen on this date. AMC's gonna hit $100 by July 2022 or whatever."
Yeah,
And then it doesn't happen, and you have such a large following that they just feel like, okay, well, this guy's talking about his ass, so let me just sell right now while I'm still up and just get into something else. So I think that timelines are detrimental to investments.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Something that I was looking on today, actually, it's not what caused the crash, but it's what's accelerating the crash even further, is stablecoins. So are you familiar with stablecoins?
We have our what was it USDT? We have USDC,
UST.
UST. Yeah,
Um,
basically like everything that's supposed to be a placeholder.
yeah, exactly. And the whole point of a stablecoin is for that to remain near the US dollar. So, and the problem is right now is that there's a particular stablecoin, UST, which is backed by Terra Luna, Terra Luna, which is a crypto, and Luna and Moon, which are on the same, are they're in the same ecosystem. They both began to take a hit on their dollar amount. So this is what backs the UST. So when both of those tokens take a hit, people began losing faith in the project. So people began just rapidly withdrawing their holdings from this ecosystem.
Okay.
And the UST, the stablecoin price, began to plummet. And a stablecoin is not supposed to break from the US dollar. So when that happens, people just begin to freak out. And
Understand.
and UST is a huge token right now. I think it's ranked number 10 by market cap of all crypto. There's like $19 billion invested as of right now, even with with where it's at. Um, so people just began rapidly withdrawing their investment. There was a similar project earlier in the year. I cannot remember which crypto it was, but Mark Cuban was part of that project where it was like an $85 coin that eventually plummeted to zero, a market cap of zero, meaning it was completely worthless.
Yeah.
So you're kind of seeing the same thing happen again. So Luna was at $111 a token last month, and after the sell-off, it is now about 26 cents. So people have lost just an insane amount of money. It wiped off a 29 billion dollar market cap in just the last week, down to about 800 million. So that tells you how much people are pulling out of this investment. And now you have exchanges that are blocking withdrawals right now because there is just a wave of people that just do not believe in this project anymore. And so with UST being a stable coin, one of the biggest stable coins there are, it is just totally wrecking this crypto market right now, because if a coin that's supposed to be $1 at all times drops 40%, then people begin to think the volatile Bitcoin, Ethereum, that they can do the same thing. In reality, I don't think they can. No. But it kind of scares people with retail traders in control of the crypto market. So, what are your thoughts on that?
So I'm on TradingView right now. I'm looking at USDT.
No, UST.
Oh,
okay, yeah, the other stablecoin.
Yeah, if you look at USDT, I'm looking on on a day chart for the last year. What is this? Last year, essentially, when it became a thing on the market. This is the first massive sell-off they've ever had, and I don't think it's not warranted. Like if you're changing a US dollar to let's say a peso or a pound or whatever the exchange currency is, and it's still supposed to hold the value. Like the fact that people are panicking that it's not going to hold the value, it's insane. And I'm actively looking at the chart right now, and it's fluctuating very dramatically. That there's zero reason why people need to panic.
Yeah.
It's like if you have $1 and if you're not concerned about that dollar for a day, then stop panicking. And this is exactly what's happening, because if I'm looking at a chart of this, nothing happened for a whole year. There was little dips here and there, and it just bounced back the next day. And it's okay, it's fine. It's still the dollar that you put into crypto, it's still gonna be worth $1. The first day that there was a massive panic, and there's zero reason why that you should exchange your dollar for something less than what you put in for it. And that's one of the things is that I've always said, why would you go sell your investment for a loss? It's called an investment for a reason. It's not called a loss. So if you're afraid of losing money in your crypto account, well, this is a long-term investment, then just let it be. It's fine. Just let it sit. You're good.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think one of the problems new traders make, and I think you can agree with this statement, is that as a new trader, you think you can get rich pretty quickly.
Yeah. No one's getting rich overnight. Unless there's been times where I was I'm gonna go invest 10,000 or what was it, 100 shares in AMC last year on the big the squeeze with BlackBerry and all this other companies. And I remember sitting with you in the garage. It's we each have 100 shares of this company, this company, this company. It's I can wake up with $100,000 tomorrow morning. And we didn't sleep that night, and we were just let's see what happens when the market opens. Yeah, cool. You made $5.
Oh, you made $5? That's nice.
You lost $100, whatever it was, and it was oh, cool. We didn't make more than our salary in a year, or it's okay, well, shit. So obviously there's a process. You have to learn it, and here we are. Over a year later, still learning the process.
It's got to temper expectations a bit. So this is the important thing, and that's when I tell new traders. I haven't come across a lot yet that have really jumped on yet, but there's been a couple of people that have been able to talk through it, and I've told them don't think you're gonna get rich tomorrow. Don't think you're gonna get rich by the end of the year. This is a process. Until you understand the process, then that's when you're going to start seeing your returns from it. Like, expect to lose in the beginning.
Yeah.
That's why I tell people your first 10 trades are probably going to be losses, so don't go crazy on those trades. Go small so you get an idea of how it works.
Yeah. Like
So,
when we first started investing, you and I were different.
mhm.
Like I made what 5 to 7K swing trading stocks.
Mhm.
I lost that within 3 months trying to learn how to option trade. It's like, yeah,
Oh my God, yeah.
like I
Yeah,
have to learn how to do this.
absolutely. So it's the thing, it's a process, and people have to understand that. But continue on crypto. Like, you're familiar with the NFT space, and I'm not that familiar with the NFT space yet. So what's going on with NFTs right now with this whole crypto crash?
So NFT, the whole NFT space is like so with NFTs, there's been a lot of things called rug pulls, where basically like you make a NFT project, you have a thing called a waitlist where you make an initial investment.
Mhm.
It's basically like an IPO. So you're able to buy it at a lower cost before it goes to market. And
Okay.
what happens is with a lot of these NFT projects, if they're not if the people that create the project are not docs, basically like researched, and if they're not in the crypto world, if they're not verified as an actual legit person,
Mhm.
they do a thing called a rug pull where you basically get as much money as you can right off the bat,
Mhm.
and then you just kill the project, which is super scary. But when you invest in other projects where these people are docs, they have like a history of like, oh, like this is actually somebody that I can invest in.
Mhm.
They're safer. So the biggest thing about picking an NFT to invest in is what is the utility or what is the purpose of this project? Because basically, they say NFTs are art. They say that they're because art.
Yeah, it's basically art. Yeah.
Like, it's like okay, like you're buying a picture, buying like a GIF or a JPEG, whatever, but they have some sort of backing behind it. So what is the purpose of buying this thing? It's like it's basically buying like a, uh baseball ticket. It's like buying like a hockey ticket, whatever.
Mhm.
So if you buy this project, or if you buy into this project, what is the return that you're going to get?
Mhm.
So some of the things that I bought is that one is from a guy named Gary V. Uh, his thing was that this is like a huge project that he's working on right now, and it's supposed to be like his version of Sesame Street. So he has a conference going on next week when he did his first version of NFTs that allowed you to go to that conference.
Mhm.
So that was like your little in to go there to have him explain firsthand. Oh, like these are like this is like NFTs of the future. And then there's another NFT project that I invested in that it was basically a what do you call it? A like a helix farmer.
I haven't heard of that. But go ahead.
So there's little like a Bitcoin miner, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So this other project that I bought into was a if you had an NFT for this project, you were able to go play this game that would work on the Ethereum blockchain
Mhm.
to mine Ethereum essentially. So that was like
Okay.
one of the other NFT projects I wanted to do. It's like, oh, like okay, so I buy this NFT, so I'm basically just buying a miner to mine
Mhm.
it to mine Ethereum
Yeah.
versus me just buying like a JPEG for the hell of it. It's like here's this picture because like we've seen in this last year, there was somebody that bought the Jack Dorsey first tweet
Oh my God. Yeah.
screenshot, right? Like there was zero reason for him to buy at that price and try to sell it for that price, and now it's worth nothing because that out it didn't do anything. But with NFTs, like if you buy it, it's basically just a digital transaction of like, this is what this
Yeah.
is. This is what whatever you and the market want to value that asset at.
Hmm.
So NFTs are basically just a digital piece of paper that says like, oh,
Hmm.
this is what this does, and you can buy and sell it for whatever you want.
Hmm.
And I feel like people don't like the NFTs because when they first got introduced, it was just basically just a picture, and people were just like, "Oh, I'm going to buy this picture and sell it for $10 million." Like, no, like that's not what the purpose of this NFT is.
Yeah.
It has a function. It's like
Yeah.
it's like buying a
Like a freaking Da Vinci piece.
yeah, Da
Yeah.
Vinci piece, or like let's say you bought like season tickets to the Lakers. Like that's what that is. It's basically that's all it is. Because when you go buy season tickets to go watch the Lakers or whatever team you want to watch,
Yeah.
you don't have a physical ticket when you purchase it. You
That's
only get
true.
the ticket after the transaction happened, and
Yeah.
that's what these NFTs are doing. They're simulating the exact same thing.
Hmm.
It is like, okay, here's this. It's just on a crypto market. It's not on a US dollar or whatever. It's a transaction happening on a different platform. That's all it is.
So I gotta ask you right now because like the majority of NFTs are art based,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're seeing people use them as profile pictures,
Yeah.
and you're also seeing on the other side of it the non-believers of the NFT space who are screenshotting NFTs and kind
Mm-hmm.
of using them as their profile pictures and posting them wherever they post them. And then you have Elon Musk say seems kind of fungible in regards to the NFT. So
Yeah.
what do you think about that? Like, is that going to have any impact on pricing in the future?
Uh, Elon likes to stir the pot. I'm a big fan of Elon, so he likes to stir the pot.
Yeah.
Um, I the whole screenshotting thing, like it is what it is. But like with a lot of other projects, like you have to verify that you actually own it
Yeah.
to put certain pictures on your certain space. So like I just opened up my Twitter account again from like 6 years ago, and I never used it. And part of the verification process of posting a picture was I had to verify my NFT on Web3 through that Web3 website.
Okay.
If I actually screenshotted it, it wouldn't work.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I mean, people can screenshot it all day. Like it is what it is. But like if you're actually verified, like people are taking active processes to show like, oh, this is actually legit versus fake.
Hmm.
And ever since like I verified my NFT through the V project, I've had people like friend request me and uh, try to buy my NFT, and like they are not legit. And I was like, okay, like this is actually a good thing because now it's verified,
Yeah.
and these people that are trying to buy it is basically like a scam.
Yeah. And I think that, yeah, NFTs mostly started as just art pieces across the internet and
Yeah.
art and digital pieces, but I think they're evolving more. They're still at their beginning stages. Like for the people that play video games out there and you play like online games where you have to purchase DLC, downloadable content. This is kind of what the NFTs are becoming. So if you want that equipment on your characters or whatever part of this upcoming metaverse, like you can't use a screenshot to interact with anything. So like I have that kind of understanding, and I think that it has a lot of room to move with all these major companies like Disney and Nike and now McDonald's wanting to get involved, and I think Starbucks recently said that they're going to get involved in the NFT space.
I own
Um,
NFTs that are legit licensed by Disney, Coca
yeah.
Cola. Um, I have comic books that are NFTs that are backed by essentially Disney, but they are
Yeah.
Marvel comic books,
Hmm.
and they're all NFTs that are licensed. They're digitally licensed, and they are backed by them.
Yeah. It's
It's
still
like
early too, and you already got that
it's,
much support.
yeah, it's like if you have like Disney, Coca Cola, Starbucks, uh, any other like massive company backing these, it's like okay, well, obviously, like a they're taking a risk. B, they believe in the project
Hmm.
and in the future of what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. So question about pricing. So how's pricing looking like right now in the NFT space? Like, are investments down or what's going on?
Well, so essentially pricing is going to be down, right? Because
Hmm.
you're trading depending on what currency you're trading. It's either I'm trading Ethereum, Solana, and if I sell my thing for let's say
Hmm.
one Ethereum, at one point it was worth $3,000. Now it's worth $2,100, $1,800.
Oh, so it's based. So the price is just based off the token, so that doesn't change.
Yeah. So it's like if I
Oh,
sell
okay.
one token or two tokens, or the token is valued at, that's what I get.
Oh, okay. I didn't really understand. I thought it was like a dollar type of
Yeah.
thing with the crypto. I didn't know it was like
Yeah.
a
No.
sell.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So no. So NFTs are basically just based off of whatever token, however much you want to exchange that token for.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know. That's something
Yeah.
I didn't realize, and I'm sure a lot of people don't know about.
Yeah. So it's like it's not like $1,000 for $1,000. It's like, oh, I have 5 Solana tokens or I have 5 Ethereum that I'm willing to go pay for this. It's the token itself, not the price of the token.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. That's good to know. So it's being affected too, just like so. If the crypto market's affected, the NFT market is
Yeah.
directly affected by it.
Yeah. So the NFT market's down a bunch right now just because of that.
Yeah.
But if you invested into an NFT project, the amount of, let's say, like Ethereum that people are willing to pay, it hasn't changed.
Okay.
Your overall dollar amount, like if you're willing to cash out, it's going to be
Mhm.
lower, but people are still willing to pay the same amount of money or the same amount of
Gotcha.
same amount of tokens. So
Gotcha.
last week I had an NFT. I did a thing called a whitelist, which means I got first debt or first pick.
Hmm.
I got it and I paid I think 0.36 Ethereum like a month ago,
Hmm.
and um, I think the first offer I got was like zero point 0.8 Ethereum. I'm still getting offers for 0.8. So
Okay.
even though Ethereum is down like 50% from where it was a month ago,
Hmm.
I'm still getting offered the same amount of Ethereum. So if you invest into like these like good NFT projects, you're still going to get paid the same amount of Ethereum. It's just whatever current market value is, like a stock.
Hmm.
That's going to determine what your actual cash price is.
Gotcha.
So don't
Okay.
sell it for a loss. Just sell it for just hold on to it or just wait.
Oh, okay. Speaking of stocks, what's going on in the stock market?
It's garbage.
Telling me how you been holding up in this bearish market.
Um, it's crazy because my all my dividend stocks were green today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they hedged against all my tech stock, which is insane.
Hmm.
So all my tech stocks are down, 10, 15, $20 a share. But my
Yeah.
dividend stocks all went up, 2, 3, 4%, and they were
Hmm.
fine.
That's, yeah, tech is getting wrecked. I don't have any. Well, I guess it is tech. So I have my only stock position that I have right now is Mara, which I bought at
No tech stock,
20.
it's crypto.
Yeah, I bought it at $27 a share, and today it dipped under 10 for the first time.
Yeah,
Like,
I will load up on Mora if it goes back to 5.
if it goes to 5, I'm gonna. That's when I'm gonna wait too. I'm not gonna buy anymore until I
Yeah,
see Bitcoin kind of settle wherever it settles,
yeah,
and then I'll make my determination. But like
yeah.
some of the other tech stocks, like my favorite stocks are getting absolutely crushed. Like a
Yeah.
firm is one
If
of my
Firm goes,
absolute favorites.
if it goes back under 10, I will go buy 10 shares for you.
It's not gonna go under $10.
It's gonna. It's a finance stock. It's not a tech stock. It's a finance stock, right?
Yeah.
So with the market how we are, everything's going up in price. No one's going to finance anything. It's gonna go. It's gonna go down. I hope it doesn't for your sake, but I'm just, if it goes under 10, I will go buy shares of that.
I will too. Trust me. Uh, I still think it's severely undervalued for what it is. But yeah, it's a company that loans money out with zero security. So there's a lot of risk to that right now too, and people are more hesitant, or maybe not yet, but people will become a lot more hesitant to borrow money once these interest rates start taking full effect. I don't think we've seen anybody really be affected by it except market panic. But once people start looking at their credit card bills and you have these new buyers that are looking for homes and they're seeing what the interest rates are, that's when it's going to really freak out a lot more people.
Yeah. Well, especially like too, like with their 401k, right? Like if they're using like how I did to buy my house, I cash out my 401k. Uh, that makes a huge difference.
Hmm.
Because like I looked at it today because we were talking about it at work, and everyone's like, "Oh, my 401k is like just destroyed. There's nothing left in my account," and I was like, "It can't be that bad." And so we looked at it. I looked at my account. I was like, "Oh, like, yeah, like, I'm down, but there's still money there." And unless you're trying to do something tomorrow, then it shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It's like when we talked about crypto. Don't panic about your 401k being down.
Yeah,
It's long term, especially 401k, because you can only touch it for certain life events,
yeah,
and those events are not very common.
yeah, exactly.
So other than that, you can't touch it until you retire, which is what,
65,
67 years old, 65.
65, 65,
So
something like that.
yeah, if you're in your 30s or 20s, don't even worry about your 401k. There's no reason to.
Yeah, and if you're trying to buy a house right now, look with the interest rates. Like, just wait. Everything's gonna come back down. We'll be fine.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Depend.
Um,
I guess it also depends where you live, right? Because if you're in California, like, so,
yeah.
like this is the first time I saw. Hold on a second.
What's going on over there? But talking about the stock market right now, I don't know if anybody here, if anybody's on the Discord here, but like I haven't been active lately because these markets have been so volatile, and I haven't been able to give full attention to a lot of these trades. So if I can't get full attention to something in this market, I am probably not going to play it because it can go from, like SPY, for instance, can go from plus 5% to negative 5% in just freaking snap, and it's just
Oh,
insane to watch.
I've got Zers. Hold on 1 second.
Okay. Um, but yeah, in this volatile market, it has just been something else. And I personally, right now, if you're a new trader, I would say wait a little bit. But if you absolutely want to get involved in the stocks, then you can buy because a lot of stocks are undervalued. But make sure you buy something that you're familiar with. Buy a brand that you see around your house, something that you interact with every day. It's more than likely undervalued right now, but at least if it's been around a while, like Coca Cola or I don't know, an appliance brand, or anything. I looking around right now, I can't think of a stock right now that I use that's publicly traded. But if you see one that it is, that's where I would recommend getting started right now. Don't get crazy. Don't put too much money involved because, as I said earlier with Garrett, you're going to lose your few trades because you don't know what you're getting into. You can study all the material you want, but when you are actually involved, it's a lot more difficult. And you have to learn certain patterns, you have to learn certain psychologies, and you have to go against your own psychology too, because when you see that first red, it kind of hurts a little bit, and it makes you kind of question, oh, he's back.
I'm back.
I was just saying for like new investors right now, like I would recommend right now if you're wanting into the stock market, maybe just wait a little bit. But if you absolutely want to throw money in there, don't throw a large position and start off with something that you know, something that will eventually recover.
So if you're new to investing, any stock is a good stock to invest into if it's if it's a big company. Um, don't invest into it don't put a bunch of money like Jerry said, like don't put a bunch of money in there. Um, pick a company that you know, like Apple, Google, Amazon, Home Depot, Lowe's, whatever. Just buy one or two shares or however much you want to invest in Starbucks. Um, if you want to get in right away, just there's no harm in doing that, because if you invest into a big company, it's not going away.
Mm-hmm.
But back to Jerry's point, if you want to wait a little bit, look to see where things are going, and then wait to pick your point to jump in. Like, don't jump in tomorrow. If you want to, no one's holding your hand. No one's telling you like do this, don't do this. If you want to go in, jump in tomorrow, great. But we're at a point right now like it's not stable, and you might want to wait. You might want to wait, or you can double down on a stock. Like there's a bunch of stocks that I'm looking at right now that I'm just waiting to see where's the bottom. And then once I see where the bottom is, I'm gonna go buy into that company because A, it's a big company, it's not going anywhere. B, I believe in the company, and C, I'm trying to make money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and for people that are watching that may not necessarily know a lot about stocks, I'm pretty sure everybody's heard of the Dow Jones, the S&P 500, and the Nasdaq. So those are the three major market indexes in the United States. S&P 500 is a collection of various companies throughout various sectors. That is pretty much a good indicator of where markets are at. Nasdaq is very tech heavy. That's why you'll see Nasdaq and SPY or S&P 500. You'll kind of see them do their own thing on certain days. Like you'll see Nasdaq minus 3%, and S&P 500 could be a plus 5%. It really just depends on which sectors are performing. But like the S&P 500 right now. So if my advice to new investors is pay attention to the S&P 500. Its support level right now is about 38.20, and I believe right now at the end of close was like 39.20, 39.30,
392.75.
392.70, 392. Oh, okay.
Oh, SPY. Well, I'm saying SPY.
Yeah, no. S&P 500. They're pretty much a mirror. You just have to add an extra or move over the decimal column for the S&P 500.
Yeah.
So I would recommend paying attention to that S&P 500 index, and when you see it get to 38.20, maybe that's when you want to start investing, because that's when I'll start buying long again, is when it hits that benchmark, because that is a long-term support level, which has been true for the last 3 years. So pay attention to that if you want to get involved. If you absolutely want to jump in right now, mark that target to start investing. What do you use? Like, what's your in this type of market? When do you decide to go long?
I'm gonna go look at what the lows were for the last year. Like what was like we're on a stock chart, right? So Apple is something that's on my radar right now.
Mm-hmm.
I want to buy Apple. It closed at 146.50 a share.
Oh wow!
The last time it dipped down low was 140,
Mm-hmm.
and the time before that, which was like basically a year ago, was 120, 125, 125 to 120. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at what the stock did for the last year, 2 years, 3 years ago. I'm looking at big companies. That's where I'm going to put my money into because I'm getting these at a discount.
Yeah.
Like, granted, we had COVID, but we also had the year after COVID where things like lessened up, and we also saw a huge spike.
Yeah.
But prior to COVID, 2019, we saw a lot of these big companies. They were trending upwards like crazy. So once we get rid of this whole COVID narrative, um, and see where things happen, or if we have to deal with COVID, then these companies will still do well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm looking at where these certain price points on these stocks were a year ago, 2 years ago, prior or 3 years ago prior to COVID, and if they're somewhere like within that range, that's where I'm willing to buy it at.
Mm-hmm.
And
And they're
especially
getting there.
and especially like if it's a dividend stock, like that's more attractive to me because I'm still getting money regardless of what happens to the company. So that's why like
Absolutely.
so that's why Apple is one of my big ones right now. Is it's one of the most traded. A it's one of the most traded stocks. B, it pays a dividend, and C, it's not going anywhere.
Absolutely. Apple's here to stay.
Yeah, Apple's
Mm-hmm.
here to stay. Google, Amazon, Tesla, they're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And so the fact that Apple is the only one that actually pays a dividend, then that's why that's on my price target.
A tech stock that pays a dividend is insane.
Yeah.
uh, so speaking of like investments, besides Apple, when this bear market kind of settles down,
hmm
what type of investments are you looking to get into, and where do you see them at the end of the year?
Uh, for the end of the year, like I'm, I've been putting a lot of extra money into real estate
Hmm.
stocks. A, because
Hmm.
they pay dividends. I'm looking at financials. Um, Visa, Mastercard, they're holding up,
Oh
uh,
yeah.
and then just long term tech. So
Hmm.
real estate, financials, and tech.
Yeah, and tech, like in the Discord, I posted about tech for people to kind of not get too tech reliant because tech is a sector where you're basically playing with fire and it can go wrong and just
Yeah,
like anything. Interest rates are right now leading to the downfall of the tech sector, and a
yeah.
lot of tech is overvalued. So if they don't perform, then the stock will eventually drop. Um, with that, like what tech are you looking at in particular?
Um, so I like AMD.
Hmm.
So semiconductor, I like that. I like Salesforce. Like that's one of my long term buy and hold stocks. Like I don't care what the price is. The
Hmm.
company's been around since the dot com boom, and they've
Hmm.
survived. They're one of the few companies that survived that's done very well. So I don't care if the stock drops down to $100. Like it's a long term hold.
Yeah.
Uh, Long term Apple, long term Amazon, Google, especially like with the split coming up for Amazon June 3rd, and with Google coming up in July, and we have Tesla coming up in August, September, whenever that's
Hmm.
supposed to be, and they're supposed to be
Hmm.
they're playing around with the idea of a dividend. That's great.
Tesla?
Yeah. So
Oh yeah.
Tesla is doing a 3-to-1 split with a potential dividend payout.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I'm all for it. I love Tesla, and
Yeah. And so it's
that's something.
attractive. So if they actually decide to do a dividend payout,
Hmm.
I think it's too. I think, in my personal opinion, I think it's too early for Tesla to do a dividend payout because I want
Uh-huh.
them to go put that money that they would pay in dividends into making more gigafactories.
Hmm.
Like just like how they had the roadshow, what 1 2 months ago in Texas.
About a month ago, yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather them take that extra money to go make more factories, like
Hmm.
how Elon said that he wants to have like one factory in every country
Hmm.
to go compete with like Ford for output for vehicles. And I was like, yeah, like, I'd rather have that happen before you do a dividend because
Yeah.
I already know like the value of the stock is going to go up regardless. So I don't care about the dividend at this point. I want you to establish your footprint into the world of cars before you start giving a dividend.
I
Personal,
100% agree. I 100% agree with that. I think Tesla is too young of a company to start paying out a dividend because they can reinvest that money to further improve their product, further improve their logistics, and make a better product overall, especially with the release coming of the Roadster and the Cybertruck.
yeah,
So put money into those projects, put money into a bigger SUV down the road.
yeah,
And they're getting into the commercial space. They have the commercial truck too, right? The semi truck.
yeah. Well, that's the crazy thing is that the semi truck actually is supposed to be delivering every single vehicle.
Really?
That's how they advertise it. Is that their semi truck delivers every single Tesla. So they're
Wow.
privatized. So that's the other thing is that they're privatizing the delivery system. So
Mm-hmm.
instead of you having truckers deliver it, it's actually
Mm-hmm.
Tesla employees delivering the product.
Oh, that's going to save a lot on costs.
It's going to save a lot on cost, but it's going to piss off a lot of people.
It's going to piss off a lot of people. I wouldn't be surprised if you hear in the next 5 to 10 years that they're going to get into the aerospace business too.
No,
With
they
their,
are.
are they already with the commercial airplanes?
No, they are. The reason that I say that they're going to do that is like,
Yeah.
so you have Bezos, right?
Yeah.
He's trying to do commercial uh, rockets,
Yeah.
essentially airplanes that you can
Mm-hmm.
go from one point, you go hang over the atmosphere, and you drop back down again. He's trying to get into aerospace. There's zero reason why Elon Musk is not going to do the same thing. Like he's shipping stuff to Mars. He will figure out a way to start doing the same thing. He'll do it faster because if he can send something to Mars, he can send something from California to New York. No problem.
Bezos is just a billionaire that has too much money and is wasting it on little games here. Like he doesn't need to do space flight. They already got that covered with the deep space with SpaceX, and then you have Richard Branson on the other side with Virgin Galactic doing the other commercial flights
Yeah.
into orbit. So Bezos doesn't really need to be in the sector at all.
No, it's based like the three of the richest people in the world. They're just
Yeah,
they're doing rich people stuff, right?
yeah. But no, I can see Tesla eventually getting into the commercial airline business because that business is heavily reliant on fuel prices, and if they take out fuel prices, then you'll have more consistent airfare,
Yeah.
and uh, and then the
Sure.
carbon footprint that everybody talks about too will be a lot smaller.
Yeah.
So I can see that for sure. That's my prediction.
Yeah.
Watch out, Boeing.
No, well, Boeing's going to play a part in it because if they can somehow manufacture like a better type of material, if they go
Mhm.
like just purely research, right? If they go purely research into a material, then if they can sell that to another company, they're good.
Mhm. Yeah, that's true.
But
I wouldn't.
I could just be like a Jim Cramer right now. You can reverse it and you can reverse that and see what happens with it in the next 5 to 10 years.
Kramer. Damn it. Yeah. For me, my personal investments are going to be the crypto space for sure. Long term, I'm going to wait to buy dips. I'm going to put a lot of savings into those crypto dips when I figure out a bottom or figure out where how close to the bottom we are,
Or
or if we begin rebounding and we're still close. So
what are you looking at? Looking at XRP, Ethereum.
now, not a believer in XRP. I've never really been a believer in XRP.
Okay.
Uh, I was for a moment back, what was it, 2016 when we were living in Fountain Valley, and it was 23 cents.
Do you remember like we were at what was that restaurant called? It was for my birthday. We were at a restaurant and we were talking about crypto for like whatever random reason. We were talking about like Litecoin.
We talked about crypto a few times. So is it Honda, Capo Honda?
Kappa Honda.
Yeah.
It was for my birthday. We were talking about like Litecoin. XRP and like a couple of like random cryptocurrencies and like one of like the mainstream ones now.
The smaller ones, yeah, we're talking about
And they're
smaller
like, oh,
ones.
like this is like 10 cents, five cents, $1.
Yeah, I
Never
remember.
listened to it.
Yeah, if you bought it then,
Yeah.
it was a lot harder to buy too at the time. Like I couldn't figure out how to buy XRP at that moment in time. So I was like, it's too difficult for me to want to even get involved in.
Yeah.
Um, but no, I've never been a believer in XRP. Like for me, it's eventually I want to dabble in more Bitcoin because I don't have that much Bitcoin. So I want to buy more Bitcoin. I want to load up even more on Ethereum, and then Matic has been my number one that I've always wanted.
Still
And I don't.
It's $50 a token. Come on now.
It's less. It's like $38 a token now.
That was really cool.
I
I won by one.
I don't want to say I don't believe in it because I think Solana has a lot of potential, but I feel like there's other cryptos, in my personal opinion, that are going to have better payouts. Like I like Avalanche AVAX. I
AVAX.
love it.
I'm a big fan of AVAX, especially like
Hmm.
with the node projects that they have on their blockchain right now. That's
Hmm.
I don't.
I'm a huge fan. Like especially at $26, $25, whatever it's at right now.
Yeah.
It was just $100 like a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
So,
I remember like when I saw it go back down to like $60, $70 a token, I was like, oh, this is a really good price. Now it's half that, and I was like, oh, this is even better.
yeah.
Especially like for the node projects, like Vapor, like it's
Oh, Vapor. Yeah. That's another thing. I want to be more involved in those node projects. So it's about passive income. For me, for long term, it's about building passive income, loading up on crypto, and then eventually buying these undervalued stocks when we can figure out that. And the thing is, tech's gonna be tough to figure out because tech is technically not overvalued right now. It's kind of more fairly valued. It became overvalued during COVID, in my opinion. I don't
yeah.
know. What do you think?
I think it was overvalued because of the supply chain issue, right? Like
Yeah.
we use that as an excuse. It's a supply chain issue,
Hmm.
but at the same time, though, everyone kept still buying it. Everybody
Hmm.
kept buying their Apple watches or iPhones or laptops, parts of computers.
Hmm.
Everyone still kept buying it. So in my opinion, like it's not overpriced. It's not fairly priced. It's underpriced just by a little bit.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
only reason that it went down is because interest rates went up. So when the interest
Hmm.
rates go up, like tech gets hit, and it's like, okay, well, once the interest rates go back down, everybody has that little bit of extra money. They will go buy more tech products that they don't really need.
It's true. Yeah, and tech is a victim of interest rates because people borrow money to buy tech, and then even tech companies borrow money to start up and to invest in their product. That's why most tech companies take huge losses in their beginning stages.
Yeah,
Like Coinbase, they lost $500 million last quarter, just trying to advertise and get new growth. They compared to revenue, they lost $500 million. That's insane. Paying interest on that type of loan. That's not what a lot of tech companies want to do. It used to be free money. Interest rate was at zero at one point
yeah,
during COVID. So now that people have to pay interest on that, there's gonna be a lot less borrowing, and that's why I think tech is more fairly valued. I still think Apple is insanely undervalued. I think CRM is insanely undervalued, and I think Tesla is also insanely undervalued. But then you have your other stocks like the other, what are they called? The other EVs, Rivian and LCID, which are more
yeah.
fairly valued now.
They're garbage stocks, so you don't touch them.
I
You play puts on them until they actually make a vehicle.
also think Affirm is insanely undervalued too. I think it's that fair value is about $40 to $50.
I think a firm. I agree with you with that. I think a firm once they once we get rid of this whole like high interest rate, that would be a very good time to sell your firm if you bought it when the interest rates go up.
Mm-hmm.
So we have interest rates going up again, right? June, July, another half a percent.
Mm-hmm.
I would not be surprised to see a firm take another hit.
I would. Yeah, I wouldn't either. It's gonna be nasty.
Yeah. So they're gonna miss earnings on the quarter on their what
Mm-hmm.
Q2 Q3 whatever they're at whatever their
Yeah. Q2.
Q2. So they're gonna miss it, and then we also have the interest rates that they're gonna get hit back to back. So a firm's probably, in my opinion, I think it's gonna go back under 10 per share, and that's like the perfect time to buy it because once we get rid of these high interest rates and we go, you know, 4 or 5 years down the road and it goes
Mm-hmm.
back up to 40, 50, $100 a share, it's going to be good.
Yeah, absolutely. If it goes to $10, I'm gonna buy that for sure. I think it's at $15 or $16 right now. And one of their major competitors, I don't remember which one it was, is either Afterpay or Zip. No, Afterpay got acquired by somebody, so it wasn't them. One of their major competitors missed earnings really badly, so a firm took a hit. That's why they're at $16 right now.
Yeah.
So they're anticipating that a firm is also going to miss earnings, and they probably will. Just
No,
depends on
they
see
are.
how
They are.
bad. It'll depend on how
They
bad they miss.
are.
It could be priced in already.
It's not priced in. It's not going to be
It could
priced.
be. A firm right now is over 90% down from its peak. That is insane for a tech stock, like a firm, a big name tech stock, to be down 90% off its peak, which was
In.
like 5 or 6 months ago.
What about Peloton?
Oh, Peloton's garbage. Everybody knew Peloton was gonna be back down, so they couldn't sustain what it was. People were not gonna buy treadmills with screens. You can put your iPad on a treadmill, and there you go. Save yourself
That's
a lot of money.
what I said for a long time. Oh, it's
Yeah, you did. That was your thing.
yeah, there's stock that does make sense. So it's at $12.34 at close.
So that's around over 90% off its peak too, but still, it's garbage. Like Zoom. Oh, Teladoc. Teladoc's under $30, and that was a $150 stock when I bought the options on it. That
It's-
was one of those buy high, sell low moments for me.
I'm trying to look at how bad this is on TradingView.
All those COVID, anything related to COVID is sinking. Like the video game publishers today took a hit. Not today,
Uh,
this week. EA took
yeah.
it. EA actually went up despite missing, which was ridiculous.
My favorite stock, Take Two.
That's what we're hitting
Um,
too.
they were up today.
But they're still like, what, 20-30% off what it was a month ago?
Yeah, yeah. It was like 106 a share,
Mm-hmm.
and they were up like $3, but still one of my favorite stocks to trade.
Take Two finally has price ratings. Like people weren't putting price targets on them. They finally are getting some respect.
Well, it's because of what is it? Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
So Grand Theft Auto, like they have all their other extra stuff coming out, and then they're doing all their remakes, and they're supposed to have a new game coming out. So that's gonna help out with their price.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's a lot going on right now in the tech space. But for anybody that wants to kind of get more involved, we have a Discord, and I'll post the link on the video later. And you can kind of follow that link just to get a look at it. It's free right now. And I plan on posting some training materials at some point. So once I get more people that want to see that type of material, then I'll start posting in that section more actively. And I'm sure Garrett will also put some morning things in there too. So just pay attention to that. Once again, I'll put that I'll put that link in the bio for this video, and just go ahead and take a look at it and see what you think. But as always, good chatting with you.
Good talking to you too.
So we'll do this again. The plan is what? Every Sunday?
Every Sunday, but what time?
I'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Sunday night, we'll post it. We'll do our recordings like afternoon or something. Try to
Okay.
get everybody most up to date information as we can going into the new week.
Are we gonna start talking about like earnings and stuff like that,
Yeah, we'll talk about everything.
and sort of like political issues?
Maybe not.
Well, no, it plays a big factor in like
If it plays into a factor into the market, yeah, like the whole Elon thing a few weeks ago was a pretty big deal.
but
Um, any
you
what?
I was gonna say like anybody that's watching these videos or this video, if there's something you want to watch or have questions about, please ask us. Give your opinion on it.
Yeah, put in the comments or click
Something
the
that you
link
want to
and
see.
just leave us a message. We'll respond.
Jerry will respond. I won't.
Yeah, he's been a little quiet lately. Did you see the gift that I posted in your little channel?
I did.
I miss you over there. It's been so lonely.
Well, it was April was a long month.
Yeah, I know.
April was a long month.
Yeah, but we're gonna get together in May by being we're gonna ride this bearish wave.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
any closing points you want to add before we sign off?
Um, don't be afraid to invest money. Don't be afraid to actually take charge of your future. Every time that you miss an opportunity, you're going to regret it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well said. And with that, good night to all.